Many thanks for joining us this afternoon. I hope wherever you're watching us from, you're keeping safe and indeed following the protocols of the COVID-19 and doing all the requirements that are necessary. Now we begin our bulletin today on a rather sad note, where killings that have now caused chills down and across the media fraternity, even as investigations into the murder of a video editor who worked at the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation (KBC) last evening have commenced. Betty Baraza was shot dead when she was arriving at her home in Ngong area, Kajiado County, in unclear circumstances. The Media Council of Kenya has condemned the killing, calling for speedy investigations. Now to another story that had created quite a buzz on social media, where activist Edwin Kiama, alias Mwalimu Mutemi wa Kiama, has been released on $500,000 cash bail and ordered to report to the investigation officer on a daily basis for the next 10 days. Kiama is accused of publishing demeaning public notices touching on the presidency by asking the International Monetary Fund not to loan Kenya. Kiama has also been barred from tweeting on issues touching on government funding and to respect the institution of the presidency.
By these investigations, I find that the cash bail granted has considered all the outlined policy directives regarding bonds being granted. It is therefore reasonable. Number 3, for clarity, should the respondent be unable to raise the bond terms issued, he shall be detained by the investigating officer at Central Police Station until the mention of the case.
Well, elsewhere, the basic education PS Julius Juan says stern action will be taken to those found circulating fake examination papers to students before time, citing that the exams are well sealed at the containers. PS Juan was at Limuru Sub-County, where he was supervising the examination distribution exercise. Due to weather changes in flood-prone areas, the PS says the government is prepared to supply exams on time. Today is the 8th day since KCSE kicked off.
First witness that the container has not been tampered with. We then get into the container, and as you look at the cartons, you've seen how well the security features are. If somebody tampers with that before the official opening time, then definitely all of us will notice and action will be taken. But as we have seen, and we have seen across the country, there's no carton, there's no exam that has been tampered with before the official opening of the container. So for those who are circulating fake papers 2 days, a day earlier, and telling parents and telling teachers and telling learners that they have the exams, they should know that these papers are fake. You saw the ones that were doing rounds and we saw they were fake. And fortunately, a few of those people who are circulating those fake papers have been arrested by our multi-agency. You have seen some of them have been taken to court. I must admit, although the rains have come now, we were very lucky at the beginning. We did KCP when the whole country was fairly dry, and KCP is the most challenging. We also did the first week of KCSE without rain. Now, when the rain started, we have had a bit of challenge in Tana River, but fortunately, the areas that were flooded and were impassable do not have any secondary schools. But even then, we have choppers placed in the area, the region around Tana River, in northeastern and the whole country, so that in any case, if there's a situation that requires us to use a chopper, we'll do that. And as I told you, it's a multi-agency approach, and the whole government is involved. That's why we have not had any major issues.
Yes, as they continue to sit for their exams, all the KCSE candidates, we wish them all the very best. Now, moving on, the diplomatic row between Kenya and United Kingdom is now a concern for Kenyans and diplomacy, as international relations experts argue that the row is a threat to both Kenya and the UK. Boniface Baraza reports.
Professor Lumala Masibo, a university lecturer, says Kenya cannot sustain such a war and call on the two countries to have dialogue to resolve the matter for mutual benefits.
I think the only problem is when it appears clearly very discriminatory, that a Kenyan from UK coming in is let to go, but a British national coming into Kenya has to be quarantined at their own cost for 14 days. That does not make a lot of sense. What makes sense for me is that the rules and the COVID protocols must be applied uniformly. So to that extent, then I see a situation where we need to talk again, go back, call the British ambassador, let the Kenyan MFA think again and see what is the best way forward.
On his part, Philemon Samoe, security expert, says the row threatens the country's security and economy.
Kiangalia from a peace and security perspective, ni kwamba hata wale majeshi wa Uingereza waliendelea kuset zile training camps katika areas za Kenya, upande wa Doldol, Nanyuki, na hizo sehemu za Isiolo. Hivyo basi inaashiria kwamba hata uhusiano ya kijeshi in terms of ile tunaita intelligence sharing, military intelligence sharing, ni kwamba tumekuwa na uhusiano ambaye ni ya dhati na ni ya kipekee.
Samoe says Kenya export most of her hot culture and beef to the UK, earning the country a lot of foreign exchange, and therefore the move is a major setback to the country.
Kuzaji wa zile tunaita horticultural products ni kwamba tuko na soko katika nchi ya Uingereza. Hivyo basi itakuwa vigumu kwa wakulima wa Kenya wale ambao wanakuza mimea hizo za horticulture kuuza mazao yao katika hiyo nchi ya Uingereza na nchi zingine za kule nje, ambaye inaleta rasilimali ama foreign exchange kwa nchi yetu ya Kenya.
The two countries have already set up a committee to resolve the differences. Boniface Barasa, TV47, Trans Nzoia County.
Heavy issues being pointed out there. Thank you, Barasa, for that report. Now we move on to 7 entertainment joints have been closed down in Nyeri town for flaunting the COVID-19 containment measures and operating without licenses. Speaking during a crackdown on those flaunting COVID-19 containment measures, Nyeri County Deputy Commissioner Joseph Mwangi revealed that several people have been arrested and will be arraigned in court.
Today, as we are going out, we have arrested some operating without license, not keeping distance, and they will be arraigned in court tomorrow. And this process will continue until they obey, until we see that everything is orderly here in Nyeri town. It's not that we are against them doing business. We don't want them to do business. But again, they must do it in an orderly way and following the law, the set law. Those set law and rules, they are actually there. They are set to help them. To help them so that we reduce this kind of transmission of COVID-19. So that is what we are doing tonight, and it will continue. It's not that when we leave here it is ending. There's another team getting in from now, and we will continue with this one.
And a section of university student leaders have today called on the government to unlock the 5 counties of Nairobi, Kiambu, Nakuru, Kajiado and Machakos, citing that it has affected the youth negatively. The students who held a demonstration in Mombasa also want the government to provide COVID-19 vaccine to the ongoing medical students at the moment.
MF fund, tunawaambia you have become an irresponsible loaner. Stop loaning Kenya because this money haifiki wananchi wanyonge wale ambao wanaumia. If you want to loan us, loan President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta and his entire cabinet, not fellow Kenyans.
We are grateful that the government is trying its best to mitigate this COVID pandemic. Lakini watu wanateseka. Kuna watu wamepoteza makazi yao kwa sababu ya hii lockdown. Kuna familia, kuna mama mboga anakosa biashara leo hii kwa sababu mama hana hata shilingi 20 ya kununua tomato. Na hii ni kwa sababu ya nini? Kwa sababu hakuna kazi. Nchi imesimama, watu wamebakishwa manyumbani, chakula hazifiki nyumbani. Watu wataishi vipi? Kitu cha pili, hii mambo ya vaccine. Watu ambao wanafaa wapatiwe priority zaidi pia ni wanafunzi katika medical institutes. How can they stay in the medical institutes and not be given priority with regard to mambo na vaccine? So kindly, please, tafadhali make sure that our people are taken care of. Make sure that when you're giving out these vaccines, they are given to people who need them and people who are in the front line. Na si ati inapatiwana hivi kwa ubaguzi. Watu waangaliwe, ule mwananchi yuko juu apatiwe priority na mtu ambaye yuko chini pia apatiwe priority. Asante.
Kwa hapa kwa uchungu sana kama kijana. Uchungu wangu ni kuhusiana na vile serikali inavyotuendesha na katika nchi yetu ya Kenya. Nchi nzima saa hizi kuna sheria ambazo upangwa ama serikali wanashindikiza na kutuathiri sisi kama vijana. Angalia mifano kama maradhi ya COVID saa hizi. Kuna lockdowns nyingi ambazo zimeathiri vijana. Kuna uhalifu unaendelea kwa sababu vijana wamekosa ajira. Kwa hivyo niko hapa kucampaign leo na wenzangu kama wanaharakati hapa Mombasa na kusema vijana, wakati wetu umefika, tujitokezeni, tusiogope.
And now to some good news for coffee farmers, where coffee farmers from various factories in Kirinyaga County are smiling all the way to the bank after the announcement of cherry prices for the last season. Most of the coffee factories which have released their rates will be paying an average of 102 shillings per kilogram, the highest farmers have been paid in the last few years. Coffee farmers have also been encouraged to adopt new varieties, including Riru 11 and Batian, which are less susceptible to diseases and produce more as compared to the ancient varieties and reduce their cost of production.
Wapo mbeleni rate ilikuwa inaenda chini ya 50 shillings na kwa sasa vile iko 100 na zaidi, especially factory yetu inaitwa Ngiriabu Farmers iko na 102 and 45 cents. So farmers are very happy and they are eager, wako tayari kurudi mashambani na kufanya kazi vizuri kabisa.
Ningetaka kuuliza wakulima tujaribu kumbadilisha hii crop ya hii variety ya kahawa ambayo tulikuwa tunalima zamani ambayo ni SL28, kwa sababu SL28 iko na shinda nyingi sana, especially because of the climatic changes. Kwa hivyo kuna shinda ya hiyo kahawa, tubadilishe tupande hii ya Ruiru 11 ama Batian, kwa sababu hiyo nayo cost of production itarudi chini.
Kushirikiana na national government tulete hizi mbili za kuprotect wakulima, more so in terms of marketing na mambo ya mbolea na hii nyingine mambo ya extension ya wakulima training. Hiyo ndio tunataka kushikilia sana ili ikifika next year wakulima wapate mbolea.
The National Assembly Education Committee has vetted the TSC chairman appointee Dr. Jamlek Muturi following his appointment by President Uhuru Kenyatta. Appearing before the committee, chaired by Busia County MP Florence Mutua Muturi, says he will work hand in hand with the Ministry of Education and other stakeholders to ensure full implementation of the CBC after members of the committee allayed fears over its implementation,
which will enable us to make informed decisions in terms of budgeting, in terms of policy formulation, and in terms of strategy. To me, that's very crucial, because without data, then it is difficult really to do a lot. And the last one is, I did talk of the Kenya School of Teachers, and I'm happy that one of the members indicated that really we require a professional body. If we get that, I think we will place the teachers where they belong, so that they are taken as the teachers they are. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Dr. Ali. The last question is very key. Please listen to it very clearly.
Yes.
Take all the time that you need to answer that question.
Thank you, Chair. And I must start by congratulating Dr. Muturi. I am one of the people who have seen him work around Embu County, and I'm impressed by your presentation, Dr. Muturi. Chair, I also wish to to confirm that the schools that he has mentioned, Kavoteri Secondary School and Moi High School, Birore, are schools in my constituency. And I'm glad you left the impact in those schools.
And that story takes us for a short break, but we'll be right back with more news. Stay tuned.
As the country gears up for possible BBI referendum and 2022 general elections.
As the salvos enter too familiar territory.
William Ruto will serve his 5 years term as the deputy president.
Pundits Night is here to give you powerful, thought-provoking political commentaries.
The mountain can produce a country.
Give Moses Kuria a chance to respond. Let me ask you this. Are you not taking advantage of first my situation?
You talk about the people with the ultimate power.
Kikuyus will vote for somebody from outside their community to be the next president of this country.
We talk to the newsmakers, the opinion shapers, and the pundits.
Fair enough. I believe
that part so that I
as we dissect everything you need to know to make an informed decision. How well do you know what's happening around you? Morning Cafe with heated political debates.
The position of the Prime Minister will go to a party with the most elected members.
I clearly know that neither Raila nor Ruto are in the work plan on the roadmap for transition as far as the government is concerned.
Informative health discussions, business, farming, Tasty Wednesday, Fitness Thursday, and Feel Good Friday with amazing DJs, celebs, and music bands.
Back to the seasons of my years.
Every Monday to Friday from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Did you know that your business keeps our economy running?
You need the skill, not the papers.
Always tell yourselves, one day at a time. You can't do everything under one roof.
Over time, I've had to realize that good things take time.
The Grind, every Monday at 7:30 p.m. 47, the home of Untold Stories.
Welcome back. In case you're just joining us, this is indeed TV 47 and you're watching Newsfeed. Remember, you can also watch us live on Facebook at TV 47 Kenya. Follow the broadcast and also comment and give us a few suggestions of some of our viewing. Now we move on, where health professional associations in the country now want Health CS Mutahi Kagwe to drop the 2021 Health Amendment Bill, citing the bill seeks to remove professionals from their respective body. The professionals have also demanded the restructure of the Kenya Pharmacy and Poisons Board in order to carry out duties such as approving the COVID-19 vaccine.
The Health Laws Amendment Bill 2021 that is currently in the National Assembly seeks to remove healthcare professionals from the control and management of healthcare, and as such, their expertise from making important decisions on behalf of the Kenyan patient. And I want to repeat, on behalf of the Kenyan patient, not on our own behalf. The strange bill seeks to place registered and controlled professionals at the mercy of non-professionals, a previously unheard of and absurd arrangement. We are assembled here as a federation of health professional associations representing over 150,000 health workers in Kenya in solidarity opposing this harmful and retrogressive law. We want to state that it is dangerous. It is a dangerous precedent to interfere with health professionals. What is a profession? A profession is a discipline made up of highly trained persons possessing specialized knowledge and skills for solving a specific problem of public interest. The government, through the Ministry of Health, is responsible for the overall health and well-being of all its citizens through provision of the highest attainable standards of health as enshrined in our Constitution of Kenya 2020. In achieving its mandate, government passes laws and creates regulatory bodies for regulation of health professions. The principle of self-regulation must be entrenched and protected in the law through the governance structure of health regulatory bodies. This requires that regulatory boards and councils have a principal constituency, the members of the regulated professions who have the relevant training and expertise. The core roles of health regulatory boards and council is to set standards of training and practice and to ensure that recognized professionals adhere to these standards in order to ensure the best healthcare outcomes for the citizens. These standards directly affect the common mwananchi, particularly the patient. From time to time, the advice of experts outside the health professions, for example, legal experts or consumer rights experts, is required to advise the board or council on matters beyond healthcare regulation and practice. This is already well taken care of by the existence of technical advisory committees who are not by necessity members of the board or council but who can be called upon when needed. Our position. This bill seeks to deny health professionals their democratic representation and stakeholder-driven practice and therefore hinders effectiveness of health regulatory bodies. Having a majority of non-professionals in a regulator makes it impossible to govern health professions within the confines of ethical practice. This will pose great risk to public health and well-being of our citizens. Therefore, the proposed amendments, insofar as denying the health professionals authority to regulate themselves, in our view, is ill-advised and impracticable. They threaten the integrity of health professions and are gravely perilous to public safety and interest. In the view of the foregoing, we hereby reject the entire Health Laws Amendment Bill 2021 and call upon the Cabinet Secretary to withdraw the proposed amendments.
Indeed, health professionals there tackling a few issues that they feel are affecting or rather preventing them from working professionally within the healthcare industry. Now we move on to Bonchari by-elections, where jitters may seem to be in air as a fallout in ODM in the upcoming Bonchari by-election appears to be in the offing after a section of the party's youth pulled out to rally behind a Jubilee candidate, Zepedo Opore. Another group claiming to be the ODM Youth League dismissed the renegade members as masqueraders, vowing to have them face the disciplinary action of the party. Speaking at Sanken, Dennis Osomoti challenged them to quit the party, saying the league will not support Omieke until he wins the seat in the May 18th by-election.
By-election, they have realized that the people of Bonchari constituency, they have their main stand and they have made a decision to make him or to elect him on 18th May come TV this year. So they have realized that he's emerging the people, and that's why they have tried to give a narrative in that they have defected from ODM, because we saw yesterday wearing the ODM t-shirts, which is illegal, that they have defected to Jubilee, which is wrong.
Know what the members, those who are calling themselves members yesterday, should desist from that, lest the disciplinary measures will be taken upon them. We don't want such behaviors in our party, and kindly we beg that wherever they are supporting, either it's from Jubilee or from either party, let them support